Hello and welcome to another episode of Authentic Vlogging. Some of you may think that I've been out travelling. I haven't. In fact, I've just been somewhat busy. It turns out that I didn't actually have to go out and travel all the way around the coastline to figure out the length of the coastline. I could simply use maps, but I think maps of Great Britain to measure it, but I have to be very precise. And so I've been given this enormous stack. I'm talking about my project here, you do know that, right? So I've been given this enormous stack of maps of Great Britain so that I can, as you can see, these are all maps of the coastline, like in very precise ones, so that I can come up with some kind of estimate as to how long the entire coastline of Great Britain is. I've already got my faithful ruler, so that is what I'm going to be occupied with for the next few months. Now, before we move on to other stuff, there is a little thing that I would like to apologise for that I said in my last vlog. I think I accidentally said that when you die, your hair keeps growing. Well, this is actually a common misconception and is not true. When you die, your hair stops growing, but I don't know if it's your skin or if it's your skull, but parts of you shrink. And that's what happens. So it may seem like the hair keeps growing, but in fact it's the other way around. So sorry about that, but let's move on, because it's now time for, I know this is quick, but it's now time for my favourite segment of this vlog, namely
interesting answers to uninteresting questions.
Right, so in the comments of the last vlog, there were quite a few uninteresting questions in the comments, and I love that, and keep doing that, it's very good, the ones that you're leaving. There were a few concerned about this Harry Potter and Twilight duality that I would like to explore this time. I'm not going to give a specific question, I'm just going to take a few, and maybe I'm even going to misremember some of them. Is that a word? Misremember? Well, maybe I'm going to remember some of them wrong, but the point is that I'm going to try and discuss this thing in as much detail as I can. Let's go. The first question deals only with the Twilight saga, and the question is, Jacob or Edward? And now, I don't think this is a very difficult question. Obviously, Edward. I'm not particularly into the Twilight saga, but come on. So let's look at the pros and the cons. Edward is a vampire, and he's got like super strength, and he lives forever, and like, okay, he shines in the sun, but apparently Bella finds that attractive, so that's not really a inconvenience, is it? So those are some pretty impressive features. Now, what does Jacob have to compete with this? Jacob can turn into a wolf. Wow. I mean, why? Why would I want to turn into a wolf? I have no reasons for doing that. Okay, maybe it would be pretty cool to be able to sweat entirely through your tongue and nowhere else, because apparently dogs can do this, so I'm assuming this also applies to wolves. But even that, I mean, yeah, there's no competition, Edward. More difficult is the question of Harry Potter versus Edward Cullen. I'm going to have to say Harry Potter. Again, this is hard because I think living forever is pretty attractive as a feature. I would quite like to. Okay, let me make that precise. I wouldn't want to live forever, but it seems to me that Edward has the choice that he can commit suicide if he gets incredibly bored. So, yeah, that sounds incredible to me. But then, in the same time, with being a vampire comes a certain alienation, and you just, you're isolated from the world, and you're not really in contact with normal human beings. I don't know how much. Well, Harry Potter isn't in contact with normal human beings either, but he's in touch with this whole school, this whole other world of other semi-normal people. Semi-normal people. So I would say Harry Potter in the end, but maybe I'm a little biased because there is another question which is probably asked way more than the two others, which are Harry Potter versus Twilight. Again, Harry Potter. I don't really think this should come as a surprise to you, because I don't think it's a secret that the Twilight series are mainly aimed at a female audience, and as you can probably tell, I am not a female. I grew up with Harry Potter, I did not grow up with Twilight. I've seen the first Twilight movie and I thought it was okay, but I haven't read or seen anything else. I've only heard about it, and from what I've heard it just doesn't seem like my thing. So that's my opinion on it, but this is where it gets interesting, because most people have an opinion on it, and it's always usually one way or the other. Either you love it or you hate it. I don't really want to put myself in one of these two. If I had to, I'd probably put myself in the haters. But I think it's a kind of sheep mentality. You would like to identify yourself with one or the other. And so when you hear all these people moaning or complaining about it, it's easy to just join them and point out all the ridiculous things of the Twilight series. But I have heard a very compelling argument that there are other series that are just as ridiculous. I love the Die Hard movies, but yes, they are also incredibly unrealistic and appeals, of course, mainly to a male audience and is just basically like a massive collection of all the things that men think are cool. So it's hard to blame the Twilight Saga in that way. But then it gets taken to another level, because there are people who hate the Twilight Saga, and there will always be. And then there are other people who say that they have a right to like it, and that the others don't have a right to hate it. And sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes people who hate it and say, it gets incredibly complicated with what you are and are not allowed to think about the Twilight Saga. Some people are saying that you're allowed to like it and you're allowed to hate it, but you're not allowed to judge the people who like it or hate it. And I don't even agree with those. I think you should be allowed to judge other people on whether they like Twilight or not. That's your choice. But I'm getting distracted. My point is, I think it's interesting how people usually join one group or the other. And I think the reason that this phenomenon is happening is because there is a tendency in our society to not think for yourself and just join whichever group is already there, and not to form your own opinion on it. Of course it's hard to stay unbiased if you keep hearing things other people are telling you, but it's a good thing to try and stay neutral and try and form your own opinion on things, looking things up yourself, rather than simply listening to others and following in line. And that's how I see it, and this is also where I'm going to end our Twilight Harry Potter discussion. But this does lead on to something else I've been wanting to talk to you about. Yes, I've been wanting to talk to you about it. What is the point of this? Not the point of like everything, but the point of these videos, these vlogs that I'm making. Not all the videos, but the point of the vlogs. If you've been watching a lot of them, you must have noticed something odd going on. Maybe you haven't, but you should have noticed something odd going on, and I'm hoping that you will. But the thing is, I don't understand. I have a clear idea of what the point is of all these, but I'm not sure how many of you are aware of what's going on. So could you possibly tell me in the comments what you think the point is of all these vlogs? What am I doing? I need to know where you stand, how far you are. This will maybe not make sense to any of you, but I need you to tell me what's the point of this. Maybe I'll tell you more in my next vlog. Or maybe not. No, not in my next vlog, because there's not going to be another vlog, because next week it's December 17th, and you know what that means? Project for Awesome. There should be a Project for Awesome video coming up on this channel, if you know what Project for Awesome is. Even if you don't know what it is, it's still going to come up on this channel. And that's probably going to replace the next vlog, maybe even the following ones, because I don't know how much time I'm going to have to film in the holidays. So that's it for this time. This is The Missing End, signing out.